Hello, mortals. I'm the BookTube Goddess, the #1 drag queen booktuber on YouTube. This is a series where I analyze Critical Role in terms of story, and we are on episode 9 of the 3rd campaign. I'll be discussing what happened, so there will be spoilers. I'll be honest, I was really hoping for some combat this episode, and we're still in that phase where the players don't really have a clear direction, so there's a lot of bumbling around, or what I like to call fishing episodes, hoping that they'll find a lead and a direction to go. And at this point, I think we're just going to be following smaller subplots or plot lines that will eventually lead to the major plot. In case you've forgotten, the big quest seems to involve some nefarious organization smuggling magical components into the city and transforming people into monstrous Lovecraftian creatures, perhaps with an underground network under the city. I don't know, but a lot of the episodes seem to touch upon this main plot. Where it will go, only time will tell. But before we get too far into speculation, let's recap what happened. Last we left the party, Fearne was in some hot water. She had polymorphed into a rat to spy on the warders, who are the police of the city, and was accidentally stepped on and transformed back into herself. Oops. Although this sounds funny, it actually was a critical point for the party because, as I've said before, this is a low-level party and they need the protection and resources that is provided by a city, and you do not want your party to be on the wrong side of the law, at least until they're, say, level 7 or 9. If Fearne ended up going to jail, or the party ended up having to fight the guards, and especially if one of the guards died, and assuming the dungeon master extrapolates logically what happens after that, and we're talking about Matt Mercer, so you know that he would follow through, the party could end up in prison or worse. And as a party, they would have lost a lot of their leverage in terms of freedom of movement, contacts, especially since presumably these are the good guys. Speaking of being good guys, why don't you be a good guy and give this video a thumbs up? And if you want to see more Critical Role videos, subscribe to my channel. Anyway, Ashley, who runs the Fearne character, does exactly the right thing by trying multiple times to talk her way out, but the die rolls just don't go her way, and things don't look good.
Okay, I was trying to come in to get to you, but you ran in so fast. There's a whole pack of direwolves out there, and it's bad. I was trying to come in to tell you, and you didn't hear me knocking on the door, so I slipped right under, and here we are. Let's go. I go to open the door.
Okay, roll a deception check.
Come on. Oh. Okay, let's go with this guy. Uh-oh. 11. I told you. I was trying to run after the two that came inside that we were asking a question. We were out there for like 2 seconds. This whole pack of direwolves came out, and I was like, oh shit. So I ran in to get you guys because this is bad.
Right.
This is very bad.
He kind of glances to the other two, says, could you describe the coloration of these direwolves?
Yes.
There are many different types in the jungle, and it would be important for us to know what we're up against.
There were so many different types. There was a white fluffy one. There was a kind of brownish one. There was
As you're saying this, the two other wardens are like beginning to slowly flank to kind of get between you and the door.
Oh my god. Okay.
One on the left. Okay.
Hey, whoa.
Roll a strength check.
Oh god.
Let's go.
You're strong. You're strong.
Yeah, you're strong. You're strong.
So strong.
So strong. What is it?
That's a natural 1.
Strange that you are asking around about this Gurge fellow.
Oh, yes. We didn't even get into that with you yet. I just wanted to make sure you guys were all safe.
Why are you looking for him?
Well, I didn't really want to disclose this, but we were in a relationship, and he just took off on me. And now we're just kind of sort of trying to put the pieces together of getting my life back. So I think we're just trying to find him because he stole a bunch of stuff from me, and it's been really hard.
Roll a deception check.
Oh my god. Come the fuck on. God damn it. Okay. 9.
You were in a relationship with the wild man, the hermit on the outskirts of the city.
Well, he was a wild man. I'm really not trying to cause trouble, sir. We just need some help.
Roll a persuasion check with disadvantage.
Oh my god, disadvantage. 12.
But she saves her big gun until last, a charm person on the head warden.
He seems unmoved and frustrated with the fact that you're wasting his time. You do have a hand free, though.
Oh. I'm going to cast Charm Person.
Okay. He's about to speak up towards you. What's the DC on the spell?
Oh boy.
15.
15.
Good.
That is really good.
That is very close, but he does not succeed.
Oh, okay.
14 total on his point. He just missed it. He goes forward to give you a stern finger forward talking to and goes, Well, my apologies. This was a major understanding.
It's really okay. It's really okay. I accept your apology.
What are you doing? Release her. It is fine. The guy goes, Sir? I said, release her.
Wait, but before I leave, did you happen to know where Gurge is?
The other kind of guard behind us like, what's happening? We just letting it go now? What's the noise coming from?
Can you guys come? Who's in charge here?
They both look at you like incredulously, then look back at the main guy. She has a point.
And she gets some information on what happened to Gurge. Gurge is one of the loose plot threads. This one involving Chetney, who is sort of quested to find Gurge, who is his friend, and have promised him a job. But of course, what seems like a simple quest becomes so much more. Ashley pumps the head warden for information and learns that Gurge has been taken by a bounty hunter named Artana Vo. Now, without any other leads, the party heads back to Lord Eshteross, who is, of course, their powerful patron. Again, a powerful patron is important for a low-level group, not only for protection, but also for information and to nudge the group in the direction they need to go. For example, Lord Eshteross has yet to set up a meeting with the Anger for Orem, so we know that subplot is sidelined for now. Also, they have very little information about the slime they bottled from their fight with the transformed Duger, or any of that smuggled broomstone they uncovered from the warehouse. However, Eshteross does have information on the bounty hunter Artana Vo, who has a sister who runs the Soot and Swill Tavern. Also, while they're there, they arrange to go accompany Lord Eshteross to a ball to get a closer look at the Chandori Quorum, who are the rulers of the city, and that's going to be an episode everyone's going to look forward to. Now the parties visit the tavern, and we spend a bit of time there. Basically, the party splits into two. Fearne, Imogen, Laudna, and Fresh Cut Grass stay in the inn to make a distraction. Mostly it's Fearne who makes the distraction, while Chetney, Orem, Ashton, and Dorian sneak into the kitchen and go through a secret door, where they find none other than Artana Vo herself. She's at first hostile towards them, but with the help of some gold, they convince her to give them a little bit of information. Artana captured Gurge to collect a bounty placed on him by Valley Dertana, the business commissioner at the Mirror Towers. We also find out that Gurge is probably some sort of werewolf, which explains the scratches on the floor of his house and the report of a direwolf being captured. Touching on another subplot, we are reminded that Dorian's brother has a 20,000 gold bounty on his head, and Artana suggests he ought to leave town with a price that high on his head. I agree. Anyway, we spend a long time at the Soot and Swill Tavern, maybe half the episode, and a lot of it involved Fearne interacting with the ogre cook, who is adorable. She praises his food, making him cry with happiness.
Moment as this is happening, the goblin comes rushing out.
Who wants to see me?
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, wow. Me.
Just bounding over. People are like scooting out of the way. One of the tables, people pull back, it's like off the wood across the way. Just big smile on the face. You can see just kind of the lower, like underbite of the ogre peering beneath this giant grin. The kind of the grease and sweat across the face, and that one long hat just kind of like dangling and swaying to and fro as it bounds over towards you. At that moment, kind of Preo glances over, and then just kind of everyone kind of focuses. You roll a natural 20, it focuses back on you.
Is it okay?
I have to tell you, this is one of the best meals that I've ever had.
You just see like tears beginning to well up in his eyes.
What's your name?
My name. Pretty.
Pretty or Brady?
Pretty.
Oh, so pretty. What's going on? I have to ask you, what are the ingredients that you use? Is there cinnamon in this?
Yeah.
I thought so. What else? What else? I have to. This is an old family recipe, isn't it?
Sure.
Tell me everything that's in it, please.
Well,
Okay.
first I cook a lot of meat fat,
Okay.
and I mix it with the oil.
Oh, great. You know what? Hold on. I gotta write this down.
Oh, it's a secret recipe.
Oh, that's true. You shouldn't take all the secrets.
Kidding you.
Okay. I don't have to.
And somehow it devolves into her flirting with the cook and asking him on a date, which turns into a date with all the women in the party.
Anyway, I'm sorry. I gotta get back to work.
It's just that it's been such a pleasure to spend time with you. It really, truly has.
You too.
Thank you
Look.
very much. Yes.
I may be called pretty, but you are.
Pretty. You just have. Your heart is as big as you are.
It's very swollen.
I just can tell. Yeah.
He's just
Have we seen our friends come out of the kitchen yet?
not yet.
Do something.
Yeah.
What are you doing later?
Oh no.
Working and then sleeping.
What time do you get off?
Looks back. Looks back over at his boss. He's like,
2 hours after sundown.
2 hours after sundown. Pretty? Do you want to go on a date?
With you?
Anybody at this table? I mean,
Oh yeah.
whoever you want to go. I don't know.
We could all go.
It could
Just
be
make
an
it like a
it can be an
full, like a
unanswerable-
group hang.
I just.
date
It's
type of
you know,
thing.
the three of us are sitting at the table still, right? It's the three of us.
looks back and gives a big old thumbs up to his boss at the tavern front. Preo and goes,
They like the meal.
It's hilarious, but again, one of those tangents that make these storylines stretch, but also it's obviously players having fun. The party finally goes to the Mirror Towers to see Valley Dirtana and hopefully rescue Gurge, or at least find out what happened to him. But they are denied entry, so they go back to Lord Eshteross for help. Oh, and Lord Eshteross has made some cookies. So again, we get another baked good, which reinforces the idea that baking is going to be a running gag in this campaign. Anyway, Lord Eshteross provides them with a pass that allows them entry into the tower. And they also ask Eshteross about getting Dorian's brother out of the city, but that's sidelined, so again we can focus on the Chetney Gurge subplot. They go back to the Mirror Towers and get further in than when they did before, but are thwarted from meeting Valley Dirtana by his secretary. However, Chetney goes invisible and sneaks in. Chetney finds a map and some loot, including a notebook that mentions someone named the Nightmare King, wanting someone brought in alive. Could that be Gurge? Then he hears Valley Dirtana talking to someone named Ira, so he spies on their conversation, which turns out to be pretty spooky.
as you begin heading down the stairs, you hear voices. One that, as you pick up the conversation, says, "Our patron is pushing for legislation in the coming weeks, so whatever you plot must be quickened." Another voice follows up. "Your dullard mind fails to grasp the beautiful pattern I've already constructed across the city." Ira, I'm serious. Let us get this over with, so that I might never deal with your cruel arrogance again. Then bring me some riffraff from the steppes. People no one would miss. And maybe a Mahan child just to spice things up. This next wave will. I will most certainly not bring you a child, you freak. I endure only a short time longer. Finish your work and be gone from my life. Of course. Once my work is done, I shall leave.
Unfortunately, Chetney is caught, and he jumps through a window to escape, and the episode ends on yet another cliffhanger. I think we're being led to believe that Ira is some sort of mad scientist type, and Valley Dirtana has hired him for some yet to be discovered plot. Maybe the experiments need a werewolf, which is why Gurge was captured. Whatever the case, Ira seems to have his own agenda, especially with the enigmatic phrase,
Once my work is done, I shall leave.
Again, this episode is another fishing expedition for the party, trying to find out what to do next. I assume we'll work through everyone's various subplots, Orem finding the anger for information on attacks in his homeland, Imogen and Vodna gaining entry into the university for information to free Vodna from the dark spirit of Delilah, Dorian figuring out what to do with the bounty on his brother's head, fresh cut grass not able to access his memories, and so on. Each of these subplots will probably somehow touch on the main plot, which eventually will end in some dramatic conclusion, and there's plenty of factions to provide us with lots of red herrings. The Robin Hood organization of the Corsairs, the Chandori Quorum, who are the ruling council, and the Nightmare King, is that Ira? The Ivory Syndicate, which is some sort of thieves guild, and there's probably some other mystery organization that is behind the smuggling. Personally, I am really jonesing for a combat scene. We've had, 3 or 4 episodes back to back without any fighting. Purely as an audience member and D&D enthusiast, I really want some action. I have a feeling maybe we'll get it the next episode. Of course, I think I thought that in the last episode. If you've watched episode 9, let me know what you think in the comments. Until we meet again, may all the books you read and the campaigns you play in be blessed.